So number one, so how to really help nurture your gut bacteria microbiome and basically, love on them so that they will love on us. So number one, as I've been talking about, fiber and prebiotics. Okay, so I won't bang on about it. You know that it's good. We've talked about why, lots of science to support it, Number two is, and this is something that you may not know, this gets a look out for artificial sweeteners. Do not, particularly the only ones that are okay. I'm going to recommend, again, some more recommendations here coming up in the next slide, but avoid the three, the three on my list. And that's number one is sucralose. Number two is aspartame. That's kind of a no-brainer. Most people, that's on their radar, but not sucralose, and saccharin sodium. Those three, they have been shown to have a negative effect on our microbial diversity. I actually, I have a guilty mum moment because I've just realized that the straws, don't know if any of you guys as mums, if you guys feed your kids this with the sipper straws, the straws that make the milk change flavor. I thought that was a great option, low sugar at night. And then I took a closer look just the other night and I was like, ugh, it's got sucralose in it. So just check, especially a lot of the kids stuff that's marketed as low sugar usually has sucralose because it tastes good, but it is actually an artificial sweetener and is definitely not a good one. I can't remember if it was saccharin sodium, one of the artificial sweeteners. Basically, they were trying to find a pesticide. And then they realized that the concoction that they made tasted sweet, but it had no calories, so it became an artificial sweetener. So if it's used as a pesticide, what is growing in our guts? Microbes. So definitely be really careful. So again, those three were sucralose, they were saccharin sodium, and aspartame. Okay, so those three are the ones that you want to just nip in the bud. So the alternatives are, so stevia, really good. So anything that ends with an ol. So steviol, glycosides, mannitol, xylitol, they're all what we call sugar alcohols, and they are basically, they form part of that resistant starch. They resist digestion and they can go on, and some of them will feed our gut bacteria. So stevia gets my tick of approval. And the other one is you'll see erythritol. That's another ol. And you'll find that there's a type of sweetener. It's really nice, actually. I've been using it. It's called it's Lakanto. I can't say it. Monk fruit extract. There's a picture of it coming up. But before I get into that, I want to give you some good news. So Beck, Nick, Mel, Jen, I had you on my mind. So polyphenols. Let's get to the elephant in the room, cheese. Okay, cheese actually has a beneficial effect on our microbes. And I just want to grab my notes for this section because I had cheese lovers, cheese to you. Eating cheese has been found to support a healthier gut. Studies have found that eating cheese provided protection against some pathogenic or invading bacteria and increase the production of those really good short-chain fatty acids, which is obviously, like we've been talking about, correlated with low levels of gut inflammation and better metabolism. So go ahead and enjoy your cheese, obviously within reason, because obviously too much cheese is not going to help us with, those of us on a weight loss effort. But there's a lot of people that are excited about cheese. Now, polyphenols, Beck, talking to you, and probably Jen, actually all three of you girls, four of you, sorry, counting you, Jen, Nick, Beck, and Mel, that polyphenols, so one of the things that we know about red wine is that it's really high in polyphenols. And polyphenols, not just in red wine, they are antioxidant-like compounds that are found in a wide variety of foods. So basically, my rule of thumb is anything that's really got a really deep color, so things like blueberries or any kind of blackberries, any kind of berry, really rich in color, beetroots, any kind of plant food, essentially, and all fruit and vegetables, really high polyphenols. Tea, coffee, high polyphenols as well. I think even things like olives are particularly high in polyphenols. So basically I'm just going to read my notes here. Polyphenols have been found to support the health and the numbers of bacterial intestinal barrier protectors, so things like bifidobacteria and lactobacillus, and they also support butyrate producing bacteria. So again, those short chain fatty acids, good thing. And they also promote other beneficial strains that really help from a metabolic perspective as well. So within reason, a bit of red wine is good as well. And there's also been decreases observed in things like the disease-causing strains of bacteria, like E. coli and the Enterobacter. So it can really help with shifting your microbial diversity and really helping with long-term health markers. So it turns out Mum was right. So you make sure you eat your greens, eat your fruit and veggies, but you may have forgotten to say have a drink of red wine and a bit of cheese as well. So that is good news. So on that bombshell, I'm just going to come back to the chat. Everyone's Nick's Susan's going to go make up a cheese board. I love it. Awesome, guys. Yeah, I should have said bring the red wine and cheese tonight because it's good for your gut. But I didn't want to give away the good news. So a couple of those product recommendations as I spoke about, hopefully you can see them all. So there's the monk fruit sweetener that I like. There's two varieties. There's a golden, like a kind of a, looks like a raw sugar. It's really nice and syrupy and doesn't have a bitter aftertaste. It's been my favorite of all of them. And it actually looks granular like sugar does. And there's the acacia fiber just up there. I'll put the link to that in the comments as I talked about. So the isoline shake being really beneficial from a fiber standpoint, and like we're talking about that prebiotic fiber. And I'd had a look at one of the other things that sort of ties in for a couple of reasons is the greens, and I really like these greens because number one, they're organic. Number two is they pack in 3 grams of fiber. Now, if we look back to, sorry, forgive me, going back to, sorry, it was back here. If you look at that, it takes 1 cup of cooked brown rice to get 3 grams of fiber. Then you could have a scoop of greens and achieve the same target there. And it's like, drink it and you're done with it. The other thing is, as we've talked about, sorry, I'm just going to scroll back. Remember how we talked about polyphenols. That's also where things like spirulina, kale, spinach, all of those, remember those dark green leafy veggies, and obviously everything that's got a really deep color is going to help, including a little bit of red wine. That was a wink that didn't really come across as a wink.